welcome to the Recreation Committee of Perrysburg City Council. And tonight we will be going through our agenda, and I'd like to have the call to order, and I'll start with Jonathan Smith.
Present remotely.
Okay, that's good. And Jan McKinney. Here. And myself, Deborah Bourne. Next, I would like to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
under God,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the administrative minutes, the administrative report, and I have to say it's for October 12th. I do not have a copy of that. Do you have a copy? I've not seen it.
I sent it out. Amber and Mary Jo. I will forward it to you. I apologize.
I did not see it.
So, one thing I just want to make to point out, since I am not present, I cannot vote on the meeting minutes. So it may be best to hold off until next meeting.
Well, that's okay with me. That's fine with me. We will do that. We will wait until the next meeting. Thank you, Jonathan. Okay, under old business, does anyone have any old business at all to bring up? Jonathan? Jan? No.
So the only thing I would just mention real quick, when it comes to the ice arena, I know one of the things they're waiting for is the results of the Ymca levy that it did actually fail. So I'll be meeting with Kevin Fisher again here soon to have those conversations, but that might not be within the next several weeks.
Okay. Are you looking at, is he still thinking about doing it out on Route 25, out near the tennis center area?
So one of the conversations I had with them is it'd be best to wait to see what happens with the Tamla Shanner, because they were talking about adding another sheet of ice. Now that we see that may be delayed, that would have affected the study. So there was no point in moving forward with a study if there was going to be a change, if that makes sense.
Has he also considered possibly raising money for the ice arena privately?
That's one of the conversations that they're going to be doing. If you recall the presentation, they were looking to raise several $1 million on it as well to help with some of the costs, make it a private-public partnership.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on that, Jan?
I've been thinking of that ever since it came up, and I'm kind of leaning towards not being very supportive of it, because some conversations I had with various people on the feasibility of it, and I would like to see him do more work and bring it back to us.
I would be in agreement with that. I think that we would need to know specifically what he's looking for, what he's thinking of doing.
Exactly.
And
how much outside?
Yes, and that's a lot of money to be looking at, I think, from the public.
I agree. How much outside funds he can bring to the table.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Along the line of Jonathan said, public-private partnership but more money from the public-private side than from us. But
usually when you're raising funds, often it's easier to do it if you do it from a private standpoint rather than a public. It makes it kind of difficult sometimes.
Jumping, yeah.
Yes, exactly. As far as the budget goes, Jonathan, I hope you have one of these in front of you. It's it starts with Parks and Playgrounds Budget Worksheet 2022 Proposed Budget. Do you have one?
I cannot seem to locate that. If there's a way to get that emailed, that would be great. Otherwise, I'll try to follow along through the actual budget itself.
We'll send that to you. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Actually, Amber, can you send that to Jonathan? Because he doesn't have a copy of it.
Yes, I will go scan it and send.
Okay.
You right?
Okay.
You want to skip it and go to the PrAC report? Amber doesn't necessarily need to be.
I can wait a couple minutes for Amber. Amber's going to be talking about the budget tonight, and let's see where we're at. She has a couple things she wants to add to it. Hang on, Jonathan, she's getting you that sent to you.
Okay, thank you. And just to let you know, every time I'm done talking, I hit mute so you don't hear any background noise on my end.
Okay, thank you.
Just your kids.
Yeah, and that's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
While we are waiting on Amber, does anybody have anything that they want to add to the discussion about the budget that they would like to see in the budget?
I don't say anything else.
I'll chime in. I made mention of this at the service committee, and I made mention at the last recreation committee regarding the kayak launch at the base of Hood Park at the that water trail point. I do think that that's something we should be looking to add in at the amended budget. If we don't get the grant, we should at least try to find a way to move forward with that. We've had presentations come to this committee in the past, and I think that that's something that with the public getting more active and wanting to be out there, especially after being cooped up for so long, I really do believe that's something we should be looking at the amended budget to add in.
Okay. Jan, do you have something you want to add?
No, but I agree with Jonathan, and maybe that would be another good candidate for some of the extra monies from the fund.
I would like to say, Jonathan, I would like to see the natural walking path as it is prac around Three Meadows Pond. And also the skateboard park over at Rotary that Jan mentioned last time. I've been in support of that, I think, since about probably 2015. And I think that would be nice to be looked at as well. Does anybody else have anything else? In a couple of minutes, Amber's going to be going over the budget, and that you all have near you or in front of you, and we'll go through that. Any other requests for the budget?
I think Amber tried to send it to me, but the attachment did not come through.
Oh, dear. He said that the attachment didn't go through. Maybe we can, as you're speaking about it, perhaps we can walk him through it. I will say that something that Crackpot brought up last week is they would like to have a heater for the pool. And there was a discussion about that. While we're waiting for us to go through the budget, I will jump to the PrAC report right now. PrAC met on Monday, November 1st, 2021. They had a lengthy discussion about several things. And what came up consistently was they wanted to be good stewards of the environment, which is very commendable. There were lots of concerns about their motions that had been voted on as a committee, and they keep wondering why nothing really happens with them at City Council. So I will bring up what they are. One is no paving of Orleans parking lot. Number 2 is the natural walking path around Three Meadows Pond. They would like to have the Hawthorne area for possible park to remain natural and passive. I think they were talking about like possible walking paths and that type of thing. They were looking at a heater for the pond, I'm sorry, not the pond, the pool. They were looking at lights to be removed from Woodlands Park around the statues because a couple of the members felt very strongly that there's light pollution because of it. Maybe perhaps the lights around the statues could be toned down a little bit. Maybe might be an answer, I'm not sure. So that's what I have on PrAC. They will not be meeting until April of 2022. Another concern they had was they were concerned about getting communication from administration, and I believe Ms. Cabot is going to be meeting with a couple of the members from PrAC to address their thoughts. And are you ready, Bridget? Or I almost called you Bridget. Amber.
I am, and I think, Jonathan, I tried to send that to you again. If you want to check. And I guess I'll just briefly go through the different departments, and if you have any questions, just jump in at any time, okay? Okay, first of all, parks and playgrounds budget. The first group of personnel services, this is summer help. This includes the supervisor, and this also includes anyone that takes care of the parks, mows the grass, anything that they do to take care of the park. Those are all grouped into there. And you'll remember from other budget meetings that this year we have grouped all the wages into one line. So that's why you see some decreases and then the one increase. When we get down to contracts, $73,000, that is mainly lawn treatments, rentals of equipment. We also pay for ditch mowing and compost and tree work, along with mulch, also comes out of that line. The next item is insurance. That's basically what we pay Highland for our liability and property insurance. It's divided out into each department. Continuing, we have radio maintenance. That is a maintenance agreement, I believe, with vendor communications. Supplies, this is a big one, $109,000 is what's in there the next year. A lot of that is mosquito spray that's used throughout the city. Also, weed control and ice melt that's used for sidewalks. The next line item is travel and membership. There's nothing specific that they have for that, just in case it would come up. I know that they've been doing more online, as a lot of us have recently. Other expense is mainly the ceiling of multi-use paths, and also they're looking to put wind screens at Mooney Park.
Is that for the tennis courts or the buffer?
I believe,
I thought it was baseball, wasn't it? They were thinking of?
I think so.
Okay.
And when you say the multi-use paths, you're talking about the ones that are already here that they would be sealing?
Yes, that's correct. Okay, the repairs and maintenance materials, $85,000. That is things that they need to buy for any shelter houses, anything like that. Plantings come out of there, soil and grass seed that's needed, additional mulch. Then when we get down to fuel, we have $26,000 in that. We did increase it by 30% based on current trend. And we do hope to look at this again for all departments when we get to the amended budget to see where things are, in February or March, so we can make adjustments at that point. The special assessment real estate tax, that's minimal. That again gets divided between all departments, kind of like the insurance. EVP purchases, they're looking to put cameras in 3 of the parks based on some of the recent issues that we've encountered. When we get to buildings.
I have a quick question. What's $1,000 for emergency?
If anything comes up,
Okay.
yeah. Is that just in case placeholder?
Like say a door gets vandalized, you gotta
Right,
replace it.
right.
Okay.
And this is kind of computer equipment too, so for
Okay.
$1,000, no.
$1,000 to
Pretty
go
fast,
fast. for
yes.
computer equipment. Okay.
Exactly. Buildings, I don't know that they have anything specific to that. They do have 15 for parking lot ceiling and 25 for actual repairs to the shelter houses. The other line was basically the supplies, and this would be fixing anything. Capital purchases for their departments, they have 30,000 in total. The big item is a new mosquito spraying machine that goes on the truck. And then the last part of that group is what we call the roll-ups, which is basically insurance and any benefits that are associated with the wages that are in the top portion of that department.
Any way that we could get a heater? This came up before PrAC the other evening for the pool.
Okay, I definitely will write that down and talk with service and get a quote. I have no idea what that would be, but definitely something we could look at for the amended budget.
It was something that they were very, very interested
Okay.
in.
I'll have quotes for that. Okay, next department is the pool. There's no wages in there as we contract with the Ymca, and those employees are Y employees, not city employees. We don't have the new contract yet, but we're anticipating about a 5% increase, and mainly due to wages. As we know, the labor market is how it is today.
I thought that we said it wasn't supposed to go past 3% with the contract.
Like for any year of the pool?
That's what I remember.
Okay, I will check with Rob on that, but yeah, he put 5% basically for increasing the wages. And I don't believe we have anything in writing now, so I will.
Yeah, I thought that's what we had
Still waiting on
discussed
that one.
through this committee. as I
Okay.
recall.
I will look that up. Insurance again is the liability and property insurance for $3,000. Repairs and maintenance, pump repairs at the pool, and then the cost to start up every year. The next line is the utilities. I guess that would be something, I'm gonna put a star by that line as well. With the pool heater, we would have additional utility costs. So I'll make a note to look at that part.
Out of curiosity, what was their reasoning for wanting to heat it?
They were hoping that, well, their thoughts were if it would get colder in the evening or something, if they're near the pool, that it would keep them warmer.
Oh, you're not talking about like a pool heater, you're talking about like a heater for the patio areas?
That's not what they said. They just said a heater for the pool. So that's what I'm passing on. But they had said a couple different times at the meeting. They were concerned about that. So I thought it was worth investigating.
Okay, so how we look heating up the water in the pool.
So one thing I do want to just echo what Deborah mentioned regarding the increase in the YMCA contract. The last contract I have access to showed that no more than a 3% increase as well. So if there is something more, I believe it would have to come to council for that change.
Okay.
Wasn't it 3% per year? So this would be the second year after that. So they could theoretically raise it 3% onto last year.
And so it would be 3% per year, and the contract renews for 2 one-year terms, provided the cost of service increases by no more than 3%. So if it's more than a 3% increase, if I understand this correctly, that would mean that the contract will have to be reviewed. I may be incorrect on that, but I would like to get some verification on that as well.
You're correct, Jonathan.
2, 4, 8, 2, 5. Well, if you put, yeah,
And
3% would not be that far off from 260,000. It's like 5,000 difference between what it is.
We'll look into that for sure. And then anything, if it is, we'll come back to council.
I mean, we're like 255,000. Something is
And
695 is 3%. So you're only talking less than 5,000.
I think Jonathan's trying to say something here. Unless I missed something.
Yeah, I was going to mention about the heater because I know that this has come up in the past. One of the reasons why it's not an expense that the city has incurred is just due to the time that the pool is open. There's only a few times where the temperature isn't enough to keep it warm during the year. It's something that we can explore and find out the cost. But if I remember correctly, we're looking at least 5 to 6 figures to probably more like 5 figures to put it in and to keep that maintained over an annual basis. If we were to get something like that, I think it would be appropriate to explore to see if we can open it longer. However, I know that the labor issue with a lot of the lifeguards being in high school or going back to college makes it a little more difficult as well. So there's a lot of things I think we could look at with that.
Jan?
We can ask them to keep it longer, open longer, we've tried that and it hasn't worked, or open it earlier. It's like you said, it's,
Getting the lifeguards that are certified.
The labor.
That are still in town.
which really greatly restricts.
A lot of people have constantly said that to me as well, and also the crack group was very concerned about keeping that open. They said even just on weekends, through Labor Day, they thought that would be kind of nice to do. I think it would be nice too for the public. We've had a lot of hot days in the summer.
There are a lot of days in September and October,
Yes.
but I mean, if you can't get the people, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Right.
You can't have it open. You can't get the people to work.
We can bring it up again. The next item, chemicals, is under supplies. That's obviously the chlorine, chemicals for the pool. Other expense, this is the line item that in the summary budget had a typo that I mentioned earlier at Finance Committee. The total budget had, for some reason on that line, $90,000. I apologize, and should have only been $2. So with this adjustment, we are realizing an $88,000 difference in the budget. That will go to council for the second reading next Tuesday. Equipment, they have $3,000, and again, it's just if something breaks down, they don't have anything specific that they're looking to get. Three Meadows Pond, there's not a lot in this budget. It's mainly, again, insurance that's divided to that department, repairs and maintenance, and then some utilities. Public recreation, again, we combined the salaries. They're looking at giving slight increases, looks like 50 cents per hour to the employees and a 5% increase to the director of recreation. Nothing else really changes much. Summer theater, the music, the markets, the fishing during.
Can I confirm something here real quick? The music at the market, isn't that paid through with the CVB, or am I incorrect in that?
That is, there's also a fee that we have to pay, and I apologize, I can't remember who it's paid to, but it's for the use of the licensed music. And I believe that's what comes out of there. I can send an email tomorrow with the details of what that is called. But it's basically, it's based on our population, and it's to have the license. Thank you, I just asked out. We are also.
I didn't hear what that was. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's ASCAP is who we pay, and it's basically for the license to use licensed music and events that we have.
They can't perform it if it's copyright.
Okay, thank you.
Pay the fees.
Yep, that's correct. There are more utilities that come out of there. Moving down the supplies and the other expense, I looked this up before, they're pretty much the same thing. Those could probably be combined. It's a lot for the programs, the supplies, the crafts, anything that they buy to support those, the t-shirts that the kids get. And we did have a meeting today, actually. We're looking at putting the registration process online and also hopefully be able to accept credit cards for recreation. So next year, that's could be a big change, but should be a good change.
And this will be for the summer, correct?
Correct, the summer rec program, yes. They have, the last thing looks like some fence repairs that they want to do. And then again, we have the roll-ups of the insurance and benefits that go up to those wages on the first couple lines.
That fish, considering Ridgeville Corners, that's stocking it, right?
Correct, for the derby.
Are we talking about cameras where, in which parks? Woodland? I'm guessing Woodland?
I'm not sure for sure which ones I would think, I want to say I heard about
Muni?
Rivercrest
Mhm.
being one.
What was the one they just had issues with paying? It was like major.
Municipal Park.
I was gonna say, yeah, Muni.
I can find out that information and email that as well.
I do have one question at the very beginning of the budget when I was actually looking through the budget itself before we got to the details, and maybe you said this and I missed it, but I noticed that the supervision budget, so it was this very first one under the Parks and Playgrounds budget worksheet, that went from 57,690 down to 0. Is that being transferred to the service department?
No, that's again, we transferred all of those wages except the part-time to the 50446, the employees line. And I think you'll remember from other meetings that we combined wage lines throughout different departments. There were so many and it was difficult to track. We did it even for police and fire and other departments. So that decrease is actually, you'll see the offsetting increase in the 50446.
Okay, thank you. And then for the employees, from what I'm noticing with the increase there, I'm anticipating that there's some additional hiring that's going to be coming.
I believe no. I was told that this included the 2% from this year and then the 2.5% for next year, according to the bargaining unit agreements.
Okay, because the budget change that I saw here was supervision went down about 58,000, and employees went up by 221,000. Sorry if you hear Liam in the background.
Is that a typo on that?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that, Jan.
I was thinking out loud. Because if you look at the amended and the budget changes, it's the same price. It's the first amended, is that? I'm not sure what's going on there.
That's of this year.
Yeah.
That's the 2021 numbers, but he's looking at the 221 and the 57. I will get detail from Rob on that tomorrow, and I can send if there is an additional employee. I don't believe that there was a question, though. But I will ask for clarification.
And then, sorry, I have another question as well. This is something that I've mentioned before, especially during holiday weekends when we have that extra day and the trash builds up in some of the parks, especially around Rotary Park. I want to make certain that we either have enough overtime in here to cover the time to have the employees come out and make sure that the trash is empty, or additional solutions with that as well.
Okay, and I know that that definitely was talked about in our budget meeting, so potentially that could be part of this increase as well. Because that would come out of that line item, the overtime would.
Yeah, and it just 221,000 seems pretty high for overtime for an extra 12 days a year. So I just want to make certain we find out if there is going to be more employees hired and what employees are specifically falling under this compared to a service, since they're two separate budgets, but it'd be nice to know.
Right,
If
I will
it's
get the detail.
If it's a holiday weekend, I mean, you're gonna pay them, they're gonna get their regular pay plus time and a half. It's almost double time, you're gonna pay them. So if they're making $20 an hour in regular pay, they're gonna be making $40 an hour to go pick trash up for 8 hours on that weekend.
Yeah, but that's still under the Parks Department, and if we're paying $150,000 out of the parks for those extra days, I just don't see that cost being true to that additional overtime.
I don't know where I can't find where you're looking at, where it's up that much. Maybe I'm looking at.
It's the very first page on the 2022 proposed budget in the budget worksheet, so it's not the detailed, it's actual from the budget itself.
The 57 goes
Yeah.
down there, and then it goes, and
So,
then
the line-
21, those are combined. So the difference,
That's-
150-ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you look at that, that's budget
Plus-
line number 110-1646-50446.
If you factor in, increase in,
This includes the 2% that the union
Right.
got this year, and
That's-
2.5% for next year.
plus you're paying extra PRS because their wages went up. Over.
Yeah, but first would be in a different line item.
Yeah, you're right, it would be. But it's not that, yeah.
Yeah, that's purely wages, and that seems like a pretty big jump, so I would just kind of like to get an idea of what's causing that jump.
Right, I'll get the detail.
Thank you, Jonathan. Jan, do you have additional?
Nope.
Any other items?
No.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And moving on. Under the PrAC report, I've already given that. Does anybody have anything for the good of the order that they would like today, to add to this today?
I would like to congratulate the girls, the ladies, Perrysburg High School cross-country team in beating and knocking off a nationally ranked cross-country high school girls team from another city to take first place in the state. That's quite an accomplishment, and knowing that they're almost all going to return next year, you know. And it was very nice going out and seeing the fire trucks and the police escort them into town. That was very good.
I would agree that that's fantastic. And when I went to Perrysburg, we had the volleyball, the girls volleyball won the state champs.
Nice.
So it's very good. It's very good and a good shot in the arm for our community.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
Does anybody, Jonathan, do you have anything to add?
They kind of look like a
No, but I'll echo Jan's statement. As a runner myself, it's always great to see our community do well and to win state. So congratulations to the girls cross-country team.
I would agree. Go Jackets.
Yes.
Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, the announcement of the next meeting date, which will be the second Tuesday in December, and that'll be at 6:30. And move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone.
yeah.
Take care, Jonathan.
All right. And take care. Thank you for accommodating me. Have a great evening.
You as well.